right, so today's video, we're going to be watching a Diamond 4 tank on PS5 playing D.Va. D.Va on console, I heard, is really strong. Like, it's very interesting how different that is with like that. And they say, hey, I've been watching your content for a while, and as a D.Va main, I really enjoy it and find it pretty useful. I hit Diamond back in Season 15, and while I think Masters is achievable, I've been struggling to hit even high Diamond. In this game, I feel like I wasn't synergizing well with my team, and my Hanzo was already saying tank gap by the end of round 1. I know I could be playing better, but I don't know how, if that makes any sense. Anyways, this was a pretty close game, and I'd appreciate any tips. Thank you. All right, let's see what happens here with D.Va. Remember, we have scoreboards now, so I can see scoreboards, which is nice. All right, you're playing right here. This is fine. A little bit of a note here. I get what you're trying to do, but like you also need to get a little bit of vision. Don't be afraid to like slightly peek that so you know what the DM. I know what you're trying to do. Like I know what you're trying to do, but yeah. Yeah, scoreboards are spectated now. Basically, like you were trying to hide, but then you need to DM your teammate shots if you can't see it. Okay, I mean, it's working. Hey, you're diving a backline, you're trying to make the plays happen. But I do want to talk about this for a second. So you know how I've talked about like diving backlines as D.Va? It's correct. I mean, a lot of D.Va's gameplay is going to be going for backline play. I do want to point something out though. Be careful of diving the backline when you have like a kill in front of you. So I think we talked about a video recently where it was like, this is kind of what D.Va's play style is. But if you have Cassidy directly in front of you, go for the kill on Cassidy, right? Because if you notice, one of the reasons why you kind of got rolled right there is because the Cassidy kind of just hindered you and you kind of lost like your kind of play there. So diving backlines is good sometimes as D.Va. Yes, it's a part of like the gameplay loop of D.Va now. But if you have a Cassidy standing in front of you, get that kill. Because that's going to be not necessarily a free kill, but you're going to force out cooldowns and you won't just like have that happen. And then that same Cassidy ends up popping off and getting multiple limbs. So, yeah. Okay. You can tap point. Yep. You had to just basically touch here, so. Again, bit of note here. I want you to think about the positioning on the map. Angle yourself here. Look at your teammates. They're all trying to come and help you, but because you decide to corner over here for a Zen, I actually thought you were about to make the correct play. You started to back up. If you back up here, this maybe becomes a much easier team fight for your team. I'm not saying you're going to win it, but you have numbers again. Look at, it's what, 4 people here? So you're missing 1? Actually, it might be the whole team. No, 4 people. But like, still a very winnable team fight. So look where your supports are. You kind of line of sighted yourself. So. Backline, okay. This is fine. Yeah. Be careful here. I want you to look at your HP in a second. Don't do that. Okay. So, like, here's the thing. You don't want to sit there and, like, get, like, close to each other as much as you did. Like that, right? Doot. Back to the D.Va. All right. Yep. A little bit too aggro there on that high ground, though. Oop. I got rolled. Yeah, that was just a tough team fight. So, remember that second point when you just sat there and played against the D.Va? You notice how you got snowballed right there? I think you did things right for a while, but be careful of, like, trying to give up your mech so close to their team. So when you were up here, up top, right here, see? This right here ended up snowballing the whole way. Just don't sit here and get, like, right here and get demeched. Back away, play further, use your cooldowns. Like, don't ever give up your mech for free is all I'm saying. Like, an example of not giving up your mech for free is you dive the backline, for example, you get 3 distracted. Yes, you lose your mech, but like you're not giving that to him for free. Going up in front of a D.Va and just standing there and shooting at the D.Va while you can easily fly away and use your DM, that's how you keep your suit. So, okay, waiting for your team. All right, there we go. To those mechs. I mean, yeah, the thing about giving up like a free mech there can be tough. High ground, this is fine for you. Yeah, so here's what your problem is. I don't mind you going up here, right? But the moment you lose your Kiriko, your whole playstyle needs to change here. You have two options. You get an aggressive ultimate that you can dictate where you land. So like what I mean by that is you just send an ultimate and then basically use it as more of like a distraction tactic to get your suit back and get back there, right? Like that's what I would say. So go right there, right? You know, so back away. So when you lose your Kiriko, that's what you got to do. Like you just have to back away and either send your ultimate in or back away to your team and survive until your Kiriko comes back. Your Kiriko can go through TPs and get back to spawn. A lot of what you're doing now is you're doing the right idea of getting aggressive, but you're not willing to back up at any point.
Yes,
like you seem to have an almost like a one style focus right here.
Boy
so.
for all
right, back at it. So anyway, just to reiterate here, a good ultimate, of course. You got the kills, but I still would have liked to see you take a better approach to that play. You can't rely on them just standing there and dying to a D.Va ult right there. I mean, listen, even though I wasn't a fan of like the initial part of that play, you still made it work. And sometimes the correct play just doesn't work, or you make a play that is plan C and it still works. So good job. I mean, I'll give credit where credit's due, regardless of how you got to that point. That was still a good follow-up. I don't mind this angle taken. Yeah, just to show you something here, a lot of people have been wanting to learn more about angles, and I think this is a good opportunity to show this. I've actually taken this spot as D.Va sometimes, just to make it clear, so if people want to know about hero selection. If I had to here, I would just go like Sigma or something. I don't know what the hero bands were. You know, a hero like Sigma here, you know, Zarya, Ramattra, etc. I like it on this point, but if you have to play D.Va, this is actually a really cool way to play that, and I'll show you why. So, if you look here, they have to worry about the D.Va over here. Now, of course, the Cassidy getting across here is a problem, the window here is a problem, etc., right? So this is a good spot if you are able to have your teammates, you know, get the cross. Now, of course, the window kind of disrupts this, but if you look at it, what this does is it does exactly what it's supposed to do. This team here is going to have to look this way. If they don't, you get free kills. If they do, your teammates are able to go over here and help you, hopefully. Now, if your teammates don't get the kills on the crosshair, that's just going to be, you know, unlucky. At the same time, the window will prevent that. So, at the very worst, what you've done is got the window out. Now, the next step here, though. You've created angles. You put yourself in a spot that isn't the generic, like, I'm going to play like I'm playing Reinhardt on D.Va. Good job. You created angles. Now, the next step is this. You've lost the opportunity to basically make this work the way that it's supposed to. So, you have to figure out where you're going to go to next. First step is make sure that Cassidy doesn't hinder you. Second step, health pack right here. This is your next priority. You get here, you can DM a little bit. Now you have full cover except for those people and your teammates are fine. And you're already back to here to begin with. Do you see that rotation? You do all of that, you're going to be in a good spot. There's a chance Cassidy hinders you, and that kind of breaks the play. But let's see what happens. And you see, chat, what creating angles does? So because the D.Va creates the angle, their Cassidy, even with the window, is able to high noon and get a free kill on the Cassidy that chased you. Do you see how an angle there kind of created a play? And you did the proper disengage. That was a good play. That was a proper disengage. Obviously, you lose your Kiriko there, but sometimes, like, if your Kiriko gets killed by a Zen across the map, that's how that goes. So. Oh, there you go. That was ambitious. That was one of those, again, you lose your Kiriko, and you kind of have to slightly reset when you only have a Zen as your other support right there. It's hard to say, though, because like you got to kill when you want to keep the momentum, but sometimes it's okay just to take the elim and reset and know that they're not going to have a numbers advantage on you, right? So, that's kind of how I look at that. The pick? Not bad. Got the kill. Play to live. Now just wait. DM a little bit. HP's looking good. Also for perk selection, my take is, although I do like the... Okay, actually, let's talk about the perk before this ultimate happens here. So, to give you an idea here on like the perk selection, I generally like to go with the damage perk, which is the one that you can do a lot of burst damage, but there is an outlier to that. I generally do take the D.Va one or the shield one against D.Vas. Again, that's just like a preference. If you go with the other one, it's fine. The only reason why is because I feel like D.Va is the only hero that can really interrupt my ability to get the full value out of that cooldown. So if I'm playing against a D.Va, I specifically look for that animation light up. Like when D.Va gets that thing, you can either hear it because it's super fast or like the animation lights up. So I generally wait for that and I just DM all that damage and waste their cooldown and then give myself a little bit of extra ways to like regen my HP or ways to kind of manage my shields just with that quick regen. So I'm fine with your perk selection is what I'm getting at. I don't mind this as a major perk selection against this matchup. I will say though, for backline trades, for like the way that you would normally play D.Va when there isn't a D.Va versus D.Va matchup, I do think that the damage perk is really good. Like you pop that button and you hit a couple shots, like they're just falling over. So, wanted to point that out. This is a good D.Va ult spot. They're in front of you. They use lamp, so if you needed to, you could ult this. Like once they go around the corner. What does DM mean? Defense matrix. Defense matrix. You still have about 5 more seconds till you lose your time in here. Man, I think I would have ulted this. I think they're in a spot where you can, I don't know. There's the, now you ult. You have to ult now. Now you definitely ult. Up in the air with this ult. Up in the air with the, up in the. Okay. So like, you need to be quick to this reaction. So if I go up against, and people have probably seen me do this with D.Va ults, if I see a cooldown used, I'm popping that. Because, like, there's a lamp, they're out of position, and if you launch your ultimate forward, you're going to get kills. Because their only escape is either forward into your team, which was going to force out the Zen ult early, right? Which you can argue, okay, you're going to be in the middle of a Zen ult. But they're not all going to go forward. Let's be honest here. Like, they're not all going to push forward. Or B, you ult here, and they're forced into this part, which is an easy line of sight for your teammates. Or you just kill them. You just kind of stood here and battled the D.Va. The moment they popped lamp, I was going to ult that after I killed the lamp. The moment they pop window, the first thing I'm doing is flying up and launching the ultimate again and using this as a safety net. Okay? So, but it has to be I want you to get quicker at those reactions with that, because if you can make that quick decision, you're going to get a bunch of a limp right there. So, you got a day off because of the weather? Oh, damn. Well, that's good, right? Good backline pressure on Zen, so good job by your team. Taking a look at the scoreboard here. Everything looks kind of normal across the board. See, I want to pause for a second. See the scoreboard here, chap? You notice how like the other player apparently had said that like it was a tank diff or a D.Va gap. This scoreboard doesn't tell that story to me. I look at this scoreboard and what I really see is both D.Vas are kind of doing the exact same damage output, and you're seeing a little bit more like damage come out from your team, so you're not able to DM as much, although their Cassidy has a lot more damage there, so we'll see. But it's not like that scoreboard doesn't dictate the whole scene of that, right? Like just because their D.Va's 18-1 does not mean that you're playing bad on D.Va, right? Does that make sense? Still the correct play. Kiriko died there. I mean, if Kiriko dies to a D.Va ultimate, that's just kind of is what it is at that point. Yep, play the DM. Play the corner here now. Good D-Mac. Okay, so let's talk about this. This is where you need to start using your movement more a little bit to survive. So what's going to happen in this situation is you're by yourself and you have a... What is going on over here? First of all, I love that they both have the same Sojourn skin, but what is going on here? Holy crap. Anyway, so what you're going to have to do here is you have to play to survive for a little bit. So what I would actually do in this situation is I try to look at where the cart's at. In my mind, I see the cart right here. I go, I have time. You go, what do you have time for? You're going to fly up into the air. You're going to go over here for a second, okay? You're going to grab this health pack. Two things are going to happen. They're going to look at you or they're going to ignore you, right? That's it. So what you're going to do is if they look at you, you back up. If they ignore you, you either go up here and start pressuring them to make them look to you. See, you've now created an angle and less pressure to your spawn doors. Or you fly back up over the top last second. You know, give yourself a little bit of wiggle room on that one, because like sometimes you can see 3 meters and next thing you know, it just goes like that. So give yourself a little bit of wiggle room and then go back over the top here and do the same thing. But you're going to have more HP now. This gives your Kiriko time to get back. This gives your teammates time to get back, and you can get yourself in better angles and plays like that. So I want to see how you approach this, because if you don't make that step, what's going to happen is they're going to grind you down here. You're going to get DMAC'd, and then that's basically the team fight. So... Okay, I mean, yeah. That's what I was afraid of, is that, like, if you go back to your team, you're making them all look at you, right? And do you see what kind of problem that can create there? Is they're all looking at you. So I wanted you to go to a different way there, but it is what it is. You said they're convinced that they don't know they have a team. Well, I think, believe it or not, I actually think that the way that they're doing it is kind of the correct way to go about it. Because, like, you cannot... Okay, here's the thing. With D.Va, and I'll pause it here. You cannot play D.Va like Reinhardt. In current 5v5 Overwatch, you cannot play D.Va like Reinhardt. So if you get stuck with your team there, you're just going to use your DM the whole time and do nothing, right? Now, there is a world where that can work, right? If you're really committed to maybe pocketing your Cassidy and keeping your Cassidy and just saying, hey, like, I recognize that they're popping off, I'm going to enable this. Like, that can maybe work, but playing up on the high grounds and just timing your backline engages is the way to do it there. The problem is there wasn't much backline engages happening and the decision-making wasn't happening. So, like, for this D.Va, from everything I've seen, I'm not worried about mechanics. I'm more worried about quick decision-making. Because I've seen some, like, even though, like, my option A was to fly over and get the health pack, option B to go back to your team was still an option. It just wasn't my favorite option. So, like, there's a lot of decisions that are happening that I'm seeing that are decent, but they're not making them quick. So when you have, like, when you're not immediately making that type of reaction, you're giving up a limbs. Like I said, I think I saw 2 times where D.Va ultimate could have wiped them. They haven't looked at them once, which is, again, unfortunately, sometimes that's kind of where D.Va's getting at. And talking about that theory of it where, like, you don't even look at your teammates sometimes as D.Va, yeah, that's unfortunately that's what's happening more and more now, and it's only going to keep getting that way in the current form of tanking, right? Because if you spend so much time even trying to keep your teammates alive as D.Va, like, you just end up, you're basically waiting on them to get a kill. You're not going to ever do anything, so you have to go and create some pressure by being aggressive. And sometimes, like, and it sucks because I am a player that loves to scan, and I've talked about scanning for so long, and I think, like, it's just we're getting further away from that as tank. Is like, yes, it's good to look back occasionally, but you can't even peel for half the stuff now. It's a weird spot with some of the tanks in that sense. Okay, let's see what happens here. Here we go. Yeah, this is just a team fight. I mean, technically, you want to go top right and kind of hold that and make them look at you, but, like, that's just you lost your first team fight. It happens. Okay. I'm gonna pause for a second. Here. Okay. This is kind of fun because I'm getting a little bit more in detail about some of the things, and I want you to kind of look at this, chat. So when you see this, right, what are your options? You have 2 options. One of them probably won't work. The other one might get you demeched, but is probably the correct option. See that soldier top right? Get on that soldier. What that's going to do is going to put a lot of pressure. Now, 1, get rid of the Discord orb. 2, you got to make sure your DM is at full when you do this, but that's what you're going to do. You're going to do this to pull pressure. I guarantee when you make that flight up to the soldier, that D.Va is going to counter peel for you. So what this does is you isolate 2 of them out of the team fight. So let me show you. So if you're able to get up here and not get demeched, which again, you know, make sure you do the proper steps there. If you get up here now, right? This soldier and D.Va are going to be on you. You can position yourself kind of like this up here to be able to still be seen by your teammates, get a baby healed. My only concern is that you have a Moira. Now you go, what's wrong with having a Moira here? Moira's fine. You can play Moira all day long, but you don't have a Kiriko that can go up there and cleanse you off of this one, while Moira can possibly fade up there. I don't know the exact spot there if you can. If Moira can, the heals will be a little bit different than you would get a Kiriko burst heal. But I think what you need to do is pull the pressure off of your teammates. So when you pull the pressure here, it leaves these 3 down here susceptible. Look what the Zen is, right? If this D.Va tries to peel, the Zenyatta's falling over. At the very worst case scenario here, the Bat pops a lamp. That's still a win sometimes to get that lamp out, as long as you don't, like, lose your whole team. So we'll see what your decision making is here, and if you take that next step. Also, if you wanted to know what option B was, you just go at that Zen and hope you burst them down before they get the heals up while DMing. Straight up. So there is a way to kill Zen there. Just remember that there's a chance you just get absolutely annihilated while doing so, but if you went with option B, I'm okay with that too, because I think you can kill the Zen if you're able to DM the bat peel. Okay? Let's see what happens. Well, they still use lamp anyway. Okay. But what did we talk about earlier, chat? The timing was slightly off. Remember when you backed up and you gave away that timing? That was your timing because they gave him time to run away and go back. If you go up there the moment you were in that spot, outside of, that's hard to say actually, because I did say get rid of the Zen Orb, so then I'd just be asking for too much at that point. So I think you were just like 1 second off. Okay, here we go. Right idea? Yep. There you go. That D.Va counter peels too, so sometimes you should have went for the soldier there, but I get what your vision was. You know, that wasn't clean, chat, but I gotta be honest with you. That was a good play. You forced the cooldown back, you pressured him out. Keep in mind, when I say good play, I'm not saying that was the ideal play, but I think it did what it was supposed to do. You should have killed the soldier first, but then you also got them distracted, and they turned around and got a free kill on their ultimate soldier, so. Not clean, but you did what you were supposed to do. You were a distraction. To your right, to your right, to your right, to your right. That's a BAP. Okay, you have a free ult again. Yeah, you got the kill. Good job. Looking at the BAP. Get the kill on BAP. Just fly at the BAP. Yep. Remember, chat, you can melee while flying. I thought in Overwatch 1 that was a thing where it would stop your mech. In Overwatch 2 you can melee and fly, so sometimes you get really early burst damage when you fly in. Keep watching. There you go. Okay. That was just one of those team efforts where it felt like everybody overcommitted and no one really wanted to go for a play. Again, that's why, like, you always got to keep things rolling in those situations. But also, it's one of those less is more too. It's weird. It's like all you need to do there is play positioning and take advantage of like their bad position, and instead everybody just feeds in, and then here you are, right? It's one of those like just play the corner, don't feed in, deny their space when they go for a play. You're good. Soldier's top right. You don't know this yet. Now you do. No, you don't. Apparently not. Yeah, I mean, there was no way you were gonna know the soldier was there anyway. Good health pack awareness. That's always key. D.Va really wants to peel for you. Again, sometimes when I get a D.Va that over peels, I try to take advantage of that and maybe like kite the D.Va away, which is like basically fly to a spot that would get them out of position, but also that would make them want to fly to you. But either way, teammates cleaned it up. On to second. Right on the high. Really can't push past that right now, so this is okay. Yeah, this D.Va really wants to peel. Good kill on Zen. Good kill on Soldier. One thing I want to see from you in the future with your ultimates is not so much just like the fly right into them and then ult strat. I think you're giving up some good opportunities here. Now, I know you're getting killed sometimes, but like as you climb, like you said, you like to get the masters, etc. Like you're gonna have to get more like creative with your ultimates. The fly into them into the back line is not going to always work. At least I don't think it will. Maybe, you know. Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, let me give you an example of this. So, if I'm playing against a D.Va who overpeels, and I've been the D.Va who overpeels sometimes too, but it's about recognizing this, okay? One of the things that I would say is good when you play against a D.Va who overpeels. Now, to give people an idea of what peeling is, it's just the easiest way to describe it. It's when you go back to help your team, right? And every single time this D.Va flies in, their D.Va flies at you, right? Like, that's been the play. So what I would do against a D.Va like this, I would fly to a spawn on the map that I'm kind of like, okay, if you come up here, I'm going to be happy if you do, but also make that D.Va, like, have to think about that next step. So if you fly to these spots, like, and the D.Va follows you, that opens up space for your team. Now, of course, you know, that can go the other way, but here's the point I'm making. If you can get to a position like this, for example, the D.Va's going to look at you with the defense matrix at an angle, which means that if your teammates are on the other side of the map, they now get free kills regardless, which means that you're DMing all the damage that their teammates have, and at the same time, you're enabling your teammates to get kills while their DM is not being used the same way. Again, it's a little bit of a mind game against a D.Va in those situations, but whenever I get a D.Va that overpeels like this, that constantly wants to fly for me, I just start to go to spots in the map where I'm like, well, if you go here, it's good for me, ain't going to be as good for you, and then that's what you do. Go in. I'm not going to act like I wouldn't have made that same play. Wanna know why? Like, that's a room of, like, a bunch of easy targets. I'll be real with you. I'm doing that same thing, and I'm probably having the same result. But, you know, that's not going to stop me right there. I'm going right into that team. Okay. Let's go. Ooh. Oh, wait, their D.Va saw an opportunity at that corner and got a free ult kill. So, I'm just saying. That corner, anytime you're playing D.Va, it's very similar to third point Nambani. Free kills with that ultimate. Now, for you on attack, they have a little bit more cover, but there's a world where if you can kind of put the ultimate in like a, you know that spot you kept going to on defense up top on the high ground? If you can kind of get to go past that, but over, it's harder to dictate. Thankfully, they've all ran into a room here. Are we going to get one of those ground floor ultimates again here? Sure are. But that actually might work because they're kind of just stuck. So, like, it kind of was okay because you body blocked the door. But again, I think you're doing the same results. Or you're doing the same ults, that is. Okay, now your team needs to brig ult this. Again, scoreboard-wise, everything's... Yeah, it's just their team's getting a little bit more early picks and wins. Aggression. DM. Look at his end now. Yep, correct play. Because as you know, that D.Va over-peels. If they don't, you get a free kill. Good backline pressure. You're playing this very well. Now just DM. DM for the Reaper, because there's a window there. Yep. Go for Cassidy. Let your teammates dictate the rest. Good job. Well, clean play. Clean attack right there. That was very well played. Yep. Okay. This positioning can work. They have no high ground control. You don't have to go top right just yet. Wait in your HP. Reaper went up there. Yeah. I don't know. That's just timings there. Like, your Reaper goes up before you, vice versa. Like, I don't know what's going on with that, but there's the peel from the... I mean, there's a world where you could get a kill here because your Brig is with you. Damn, yeah. You're in a weird spot because, like, your Brig is actually capable of winning this, but your Brig needs to survive a little bit more. Thankfully, they just ignore the baby D.Va for now. Oh, uh-oh. The one hero you don't want on you when you're baby D.Va. Moira. Can't miss. Still watching. You got a tick at least, so that's good news. I mean, that 42%, if you even don't win this team fight, is huge. Okay, you're going to run in. I mean, you're good luck. A sim against the D.Va right here with 7 sim turrets down there. I know you can only use 3 or 4 depending on your perks, but I mean, listen, 42%, you have a chance to win. Yeah, that was just a missed timing on the first point. When your Reaper went up on high ground, like, it wasn't really on you to be ready for the Reaper to go high ground, but you need to, like, you and your Reaper just need to get on the same page there, because if you both go up there at the same time, I think that team fight goes a lot different. But instead, you didn't go up there, so yeah, your defense goes, because you still have a chance to win this, so see if it goes better than your last defense. Now, last time, you sat right here, and that was that. It's okay to show yourself here. It's not gonna... TP. Okay, just want to point out, do not fly into a TP like that. It's very enticing, but it's an easy way to get DMAC. Now, I do have another option for you. If you want to be a little bit aggressive, you can technically go up here, and it kind of gets them all to look at you. It actually would create space. See? Because your teammates are back here, and if you were up here doing the same thing, it would go a lot better. But just be careful of flying directly into a TP. That's how you go, wow, do I have a mech? So, thankfully your team starts pushing up a little bit. Play the health pack. The health pack awareness has been good for you, by the way. It's been... You have a very good understanding of, like, okay, I need to play for health pack rather than just staying here and overcommitting. So good job. I don't want to see you get DMAC'd here, though. So, thankfully, you should be good. They have one more team fight. They just had a little bit more time, so they get an extra one. Wait for it. All right. Not bad. Yep, I mean, again, I just talked about that. You definitely... I'll point. Just... Yeah, it's... Okay, good ult. I mean, it was a good ult. I just... There's so many safer ultimates you can do that, like, I think you can work on that going forward. But, good job. Good game. That's going to be a dub. Look at that. They get the win, chat. You said your teammates had tank gap, and honestly, like, I never really saw that. to begin with, right? Like, it never felt like... I just think sometimes that's just players go to tanks. I don't know. You played fine. Maybe it was because they didn't see you as much, but like, that's D.Va nowadays. You can't play Reinhardt as D.Va most of the time. I mean, look at the stat line. Everything's kind of the same. I mean, yeah, they have a little bit more damage mitigation than you, but like, you notice how they have 7 more limbs, but you have 800 more damage, right? Like, it's just one of those things where it doesn't tell the whole story, right? Like, their D.Va just had a good game, but so did you. Their D.Va played more peel heavy, which meant that their D.Va was going to get a little bit more damage mitigation, and then you were going to get demech quicker, but then once you made the adjustment to their peel, it didn't go well for them. It's just an adjustment-based game sometimes. So I think you played fine. I don't think it was a tank gap by any means. One thing I will say to you, though, there's 2 things you need to do. One, your ultimates. I'm telling you, the walk at them like in a straight line and pop your ultimate will not work as you climb further and further. I really want you to start to look at like cooldown timings. Like, okay, they use lamps start to go down, pop your ultimate. That's a way easier and safer way to get a limbs. So that's one of the things I would like to see more out of you. And 2, your decision making just needs to be quicker, right? I saw some good things, right? You understood health packs, you understood playing for like, you know, you kind of knew when to give up in a team fight sometimes, not all the time. So start to really, you know, fix that part of your game. And I think you're going to start to see much, much better results in general on D.Va. So quicker adjustments, faster pace on how you make your decisions, and let's get those D.Va ults to be better. But yeah, it was overall a good game. You got this. You absolutely got this. You like the video? Hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't, leave a comment. All that helps. You want to submit your own spectatings? My Discord's where to do that. And if you want to watch another video like this, we'll have it pop up right here. Click it. It's going to be a good one. With that being said, hope you have an amazing day /night.